Hey guys, let me get this set up here. I'm not 100% okay with this lighting because I feel like a ghost, but oh well. So I'm just gonna give it a second and see if we can get some people to hop on this call. Hey Melissa. Let's see. I have my little tripod holding my phone on my bed, so hopefully it doesn't fall over. I tried to plan this so that it happened during nap time, so we're gonna see how this goes. Caleb just went to sleep, so let's pray that this works. Okay, so I'm gonna just wait a couple more seconds. Hey Emily, I see some people popping on. That's awesome. So today I have been requested to talk about Snapchat and how you can build your business and how you can invite using Snapchat. Snapchat has been kind of a game changer for me lately, and hey Sarah, y'all know, if you don't know, I'm really big on Instagram. I love Instagram. It's like my main outlet for, you know, building my business and recruiting coaches and finding challengers and all that good stuff. So I've really kind of like stepped outside of what I'm used to, which is Instagram, and I've been really working with Snapchat a lot more. I remember I was thinking about it. I've been, doing a little bit of research on what I'm going to talk about today, but I remember when I went to my diamond retreat to Florida with Jen Richardson, and she was like, show me how to use Snapchat, and I'm like, girl, it's not like, it seems so intimidating and it seems like there's so much going on, but once you really get the hang of it, it's super easy and it's so much fun. So, now I remember teaching Jen how to do it, and now I sit here at night and I look forward to Jen's stories because they're so fun and they're so colorful, and it's kind of nice to be able to see like what everybody's day like. And that's what I love about Snapchat. It's more of like the here and now. It's not like, oh, I took this picture 3 hours ago and I'm finally getting around to posting it. It's like, what are you doing right now? What is your daily life like? And I really like that because you're able to give the people who follow you kind of like a glimpse into what you do every single day. So before we get started, I want to share some stats with you that I found last night that I thought were kind of interesting. So it says, according to Forbes, over 60% of Americans between the age of 13 and 38 are Snapchat users. And 150 million users are active each day on Snapchat, which surpasses Twitter's popularity. Now, I'm not a big Twitter person. I have tried. I can't for the life of me figure it out. So I don't know what that says about me, but I think this is amazing. 150 million people between the United States and Canada. That's just them alone. Like, I can't even tell you how many people Snapchat me from outside of the United States and Canada, which is amazing. Like, so to think of how many people in the United States and Canada you could potentially reach just using Snapchat blows my mind. So, to say that Snapchat is worth your time and attention is kind of an understatement, because obviously, like, looking at these statistics, Snapchat is definitely worth it if you're not big on it, or maybe you've been trying to think about getting into it a little bit more. Hopefully you can take something away from what I'm about to talk about, and if any time you have any questions, please don't hesitate to, I'm gonna try and keep an eye on the comments, but if you have any questions, feel free to comment. So there's gonna be, let's see, 5 things I'm pretty much gonna talk about. So maybe if you want to write them down or, come back to this video. So the first thing with Snapchat that I like to do is kind of give your followers like I was talking about, what kind of goes on behind the scenes. So when I'm saying like behind the scenes, something that I like to do is show them where you work out. For me, I work out in my garage. So, sometimes I'll go into my garage and I'll say like, oh, there's my weights, or, here's my mat, or, behind where I work out, I have, set up in my garage, I have a little place for my kids to not work out, sorry. I'm like, woo. I have like a little place for them to play. Like, I have little toys out there for them to play. So I show them, where I work out. I show them, where I work from. I have a little desk set up in my living room, right aside where my kids have their toys. I have a little desk with, like my little stuff on the wall, like my, rank advancement certificates and, you know, motivational quotes or whatever. So, you know, I'll sometimes be like, you know, here's my desk. I show them how I make my Shakeology. I show them, you know, like sneak peeks of like, you know, Beachbody on Demand or anything that's going on in my life, you know, not even just Beachbody stuff, but just everything that I do throughout the day, whether it's, you know, yesterday I was at the ER with my son all day, you know, stuff like that. And just showing people what it is to be you for a day. Everything that you do, you know, from working out to putting in your work at home and even just, you know, meal prepping and all that good stuff. So, one thing I find that Snapchat is good for is being able to give a behind the scenes, you know, view of what you do. People have been saying, you know, Insta stories is pretty much the same thing, and yes, it pretty much is. But, you know, I don't know, like, I don't really know how to compare Insta stories and Snapchat. I feel like they're pretty much the same thing. And even now you can take your Snapchat stories from Snapchat and put them on your Insta stories. So, you know, I don't really know like what to say, like Snapchat stories or Insta. I don't use Snapchat stories, Insta stories personally. But anyways, moving on. Number 2 is give the VIP treatment. And this is something I do all the time. Like, I always do this. So even on Instagram, I'm doing the Ultimate Reset right now. I will post pictures of my meals on my Instagram and be like, you know, this is what I ate tonight. It was so good. If you want the recipe, you need to, you know, go to my Snapchat, and, you know, basically everybody on my Snapchat can view what it is. Like, I'll take a picture of the recipe, or even, like I said, give a behind the scenes look. I will go through, like, as I'm making my meal and say, like, okay, add this, add this, add this. And I think my daughter's like trying to come in here. She's trying to get in. I locked the door. So, you know, share your meal plans. Share when you're prepping your food. Maybe like you meal prep during the week. Share your Shakeologies. Also share promotions. When I make flyers, or anything that I'm posting, whether it's like looking for new coaches or talking about challenge groups or talking about like the monthly specials, I will always post it on my Snapchat. And usually before I will post the flyer, I will just take a picture of something dark and just type like prepared as screenshot next snap. And so people are prepared that, you know, they know something's going to come up that they might be interested in. And it's crazy to see like how many people actually screenshot. And I think that's kind of exciting to me, is like when you can see how many people are interested. I think I have like 5,000 people following me on Snapchat, which is mind blowing. So to see, you know, I showed Jen one time, to see like 350 people screenshot a flyer is just ridiculous. Like, it just blows my mind. So being able to actually see, and also if you have people screenshotting, it also tells you like their screen name. It also tells you, you know, like who screenshot it. So even if you wanted to maybe like Snapchat them back and be like, hey, I saw you screenshot my flyer, are you interested? Or is there anything that I could possibly help you with in knowing more about? Or, you know, anything like that. I think that's, you know, it's so awesome because it tells you like who is interested basically. So anyways, another thing, like, okay, so this is what I have. Get people from your other platforms on your Snapchat. And I saw, let's see, I think I saw a question asking that. So basically what I do to get people to follow me on Snapchat is like what I said, getting people from my Instagram, from my Facebook, to come to my Snapchat page. So saying like, you know, oh, I just made this awesome quinoa salad from the Ultimate Reset. The recipe is on my Snapchat. Go follow me at, and then I put my Snapchat name. So people from my Instagram are seeing it. People from my Facebook are seeing it. I have a Facebook like, or a, I don't know what you call it, a Facebook like page, I guess is what you call it. I have it on there also. So my personal page is seeing it, my like page is seeing it, and my Instagram is seeing it. So then I'm getting people from, you know, those platforms to follow me on Snapchat as well. And I also on Instagram have my Snapchat name or handle or whatever you would call it in my bio. So anybody who comes and, you know, looks through my page and, you know, happens to see like, oh, she's on Snapchat too, can go follow me on Snapchat as well. And I definitely suggest you, if you have a Snapchat, putting it in your bio, just because, you know, people, that's what they're looking for. they're looking for your email to, maybe possibly email you, or they're looking for, a possible other platform to follow you on. So, moving on, demo your products. So this is something I do a lot. Oh man, I was gonna bring I have this thing that I got. It's like a Bluetooth remote, and you can pair it to your phone through Bluetooth. So like when I'm working out, I can push the button when I'm doing my workouts, and it will record on my Snapchat, and then I can put like whatever workout I just did onto my Snapchat story, so people can see like what workouts I'm doing. They can, that's what I use the remote for, is just basically like doing workouts, because I've tried having my daughter, who's 3, record me, and sometimes it's just like, she's looking at the floor, and I'm like, okay, you totally missed that. So I kind of took the matter into my own hands and got the remote, which I think was on Amazon for like $8, so it's really cheap, and it just fits in your hands. So maybe something to look into. But show how easy and convenient, Beachbody is, between like making your shakes. Like I can't even tell you how many times I have demoed making my Shakeology on my Snapchat, and people will always message me, or Snapchat message me and be like, wow, that was so easy, you do that every single day. Or they'll have questions like, is it a meal replacement, or how many times a day do you have it, or they'll just ask questions about what it is that I'm showing them. Another thing that I like to show is how Beachbody on Demand works. So I'll go into my garage, and I'll pull up my laptop, and I'll kind of Snapchat how I'm getting to what it is that I'm going to do. Whatever workout it is, I just show them what it is that I'm doing. Another thing is giving exclusive previews, which I have done with Core de Force. I did it when Country Heat came out. I've even like when I started the Ultimate Reset, like I show little bits and pieces of what it is that I'm doing, whether it's like the supplements or the recipe book, or even the DVDs that shows you like, the cooking classes. Just little things that kind of gets people excited and kind of like piques their interest. And let's see, what else I put. If there is a new release, use Snapchat as a guide for your followers. And like, that goes back to what I just said about if there's a new release for like a program, you can kind of, I did it the first time I did Country Heat. I kind of stopped and showed like what it is that they were doing to kind of get people, curious. Could I do that also? Is this something that I would be able to do? So just being able to show little bits and pieces of what it is that you're doing is awesome. And you guys, I'm going to totally get off track right here, but when it comes to Snapchat, it's not 100%. Don't be that person who just uses their Snapchat for Beachbody, because that's not what it's about, and that's not what's going to get people interested in you. When people follow you on any kind of social media, they don't want to just see Beachbody vomit. They want to see who you are. So for me, I like to use Snapchat, as an outlet to show who I really am. I love makeup, so sometimes I will sit down and I will do little like makeup tutorials on my Snapchat. I'll take my kids to the park, and I'll Snapchat, all the craziness that goes on at the park. I will, Snapchat us having our little dance party, or watching Trolls like 300 times. Like, I'm a mom of 2. Like, people relate to that, and people want to see like, okay, my life is like yours. Like, I see you doing all this stuff. I see you working out. I see you drinking Shakeology. I see you eating healthy. I see you taking care of your kids by yourself. Like, I see you doing that. And we have so much in common, and being able to show people like my favorite song, or whatever it is, what kind of personal development I'm reading. Sometimes I'll screenshot or I'll Snapchat like a page from my personal development, and it's crazy to see how many people actually screenshot that kind of stuff too. So don't just share Beachbody stuff. Share your life, because ultimately, like, that's how people relate to you. That's how people want to work from you. They tell you, like, and it's not even a lie, people aren't buying the product, they're buying you. They want to know that they're not just getting a coach, but they're getting a friend. They're getting somebody who they can relate to, who they, have found that maybe they have like common struggles with. Somebody who can relate to what it is they're going through, whether, you work outside the home, you're you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever you do, there's somebody out there who needs your message, and there's somebody out there who is watching every single thing that you do. As creepy as that sounds, because I get people all the time that say, like, I follow you and watch you every day. I hope that doesn't sound creepy. And, you know, it doesn't, because that's, you know, our job. People follow us, people watch us. That's what we want ultimately. So, don't make it 100% Beachbody. You know, share your life. You know, they say 80-20. Make sure you're doing that too. So, leading into my next topic, when it comes to Snapchat, don't be afraid to be real. So basically what I just said, be you, be authentic, show the sides of you that you wouldn't normally, well, maybe not normally, but maybe you don't always share on your Instagram or on your Facebook, because, you know, there are things that we go through. Like for me, I share, you know, I've struggled with depression. You know, I've recently, well, not recently, I've almost been a year sober, so I share that all the time. I share all types of struggles, all types of ups, all types of downs with my Snapchat following. So it's just something to think about. You know, when it's just like when you're building any other platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat, you just have to remember that there is more to you than just Beachbody. You know, you're whatever you are, a wife, a mom, a sister, whatever you are. Make sure that you present that to people, because they want to know that side of you, as well as, you know, the fit badass side of you too. So, number 5, this one's fun. Okay. Create memorable content, but keep it Disney. Okay. So when I say keep it Disney, I mean, keep it professional. Because let's see, it says on average Snapchat users are between 12 and 34. So I keep this in the back of my mind all the time, because I have a lot of moms who follow me, and if I'm sitting here being like, you know, cursing like a sailor on my Snapchat, and someone's, you know, 3-year-old little girl is watching my Snapchats, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this girl is like, I can't follow her if she's going to be talking like this. So I always remember to stay professional, keep my content clear, professional, colorful for all ages. And, you know, I feel like, you know, a lot of people, like, and I don't know, I always think of Jen whenever, and when I was doing this last night, when I was looking into this and I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you guys today, I was thinking, you know, there are a lot of people that I follow who I really enjoy their content. And, you know, when I think of like seeing pictures on social media, I think of something like, I don't want to see something like blurry or out of focus or like blah. Like, I always think of Jen Richardson. Like, her posts are always so fun. They're always so colorful. They're always so cute. They're always, like, they always seem so thought out. And, you know, that's just Jen. You know, she's just, you know, she's always really into, like, her picture quality. And that's something we should all kind of think about when we're going, whether it's Insta Stories, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Think about what it is you're posting. Make sure that, you know, it's professional, because at the end of the day, you are a businesswoman or man. So don't, you know, be posting anything that's, you know, risque, or, I mean, let me take that back. I post before and after pictures, but I wouldn't say that that's like, you know, like, ooh, so sexy. Like, that's like my before and after pictures. So, you know, like, just keep it classy, pretty much, on Snapchat, because there are a lot of kids out there who watch Snapchat stories, you know, like, I'll be sitting here watching, and, you know, someone's Snapchat story, and Kaylee will be right over my shoulder watching, and then, you know, we'll hear someone's Snapchat stories, and they got the Trolls CD going on, and then Caleb comes running over, and then now I have 2 kids watching my Snapchats, you know, watching me watch other people's Snapchat stories. So it's just something to take into consideration. So, let's see. One of the questions that I got were, how are you finding people to follow you? And I think I answered that, but just in case I did not, I'm basically going to other platforms such as Instagram and getting people to come to my Snapchat. Something that I also like to do is, if I have like a picture from my Snapchat or maybe a video, I will take that and I will post it on my Instagram and my Snapchat, and I will say, you know, like, whatever, caption, whatever, and then, you know, say, feel free to follow me on Snapchat. So that kind of, you know, gives me an extra post for Instagram, because you should be posting on your Instagram 3 to 4 times a day. So if you need an extra post for your Instagram, you can always take your Snapchat post or whatever and put it on your Instagram. You can also do that if you're like meal planning as well, or you just made dinner and you post it on your Instagram. You can take that picture from your Instagram and post it on your You can take that picture from your Snapchat. Take that picture from your Snapchat, and put it on your Instagram, and you can say, this was my dinner tonight, I'm on day 16 of the Ultimate Reset. If you want more info on how to make this or whatever, feel free to add me on Snapchat for details. And you know, that's one way to really get people interested. And you know, I've even had people who are like, man, I don't have a Snapchat, but I'm gonna make one just to follow you. And you know, that's probably the best feeling. So getting people who aren't on Snapchat to be on Snapchat to follow you is pretty awesome. How do you figure out to post? That was the next question. How do you figure out what to post? Basically, it's just every single day stuff. So like today I posted a picture of me and Caleb on the couch because he, like I said, he was in the ER all day yesterday. I posted a picture of us on the couch. I posted a picture of me making my Shakeology. I posted a picture of my Shakeology and my personal development. And then I went into, I actually Snapchat a couple pages from my personal development. And then you can go and see, you know, who screenshot it. And I think that was another question. How can you see if somebody screenshot your post? All right, I'm gonna get a little technical. So if you go to your if you go to your Snapchat and you go and you swipe over and you can see your name and it says my story at the top, I think there's like 3 little dots on the right side of where it says your story. You click on those and it will drop down. What you see under that drop down is every single thing that you posted on your story. If you post it on your story, that means that anybody can see it. Well, I have it so that anybody can see it, but there are restrictions. So if you have it so that only people that you know, whether it's like family or friends, they're the only people to see that. But I have it so that anybody who follows me on Snapchat can see my story. And that's basically how I've been building my business through Snapchat, is having it open, pretty much like my Instagram. So you go ahead and click on those dots and everything will come down, what you've posted. On the side of where it says like, okay, your pictures are here, on this side it will say, you know, you've had, I don't know, 50 views on this picture. Next to where it says 50 views, it'll say 3 people screenshot it. So if you click on that, if you click on where, you know, that picture, it'll just have like another page kind of come up and kind of be like transparent, but it will say who screenshot your picture. So that's when, you know, you could always write down their Snapchat names and maybe send them a Snapchat back and be like, hey, I saw you screenshot my flyer for, you know, my next challenge coming up. Are you interested? And then you could always have a conversation with them through Snapchat chat. Or what I like to do is I will kind of initiate the conversation with them, and then I will say, you know, it's so awesome that you're interested in my next challenge group. If you want to talk more, maybe it would be best if we took it to email, or maybe it would be best if you text me, whichever you feel more comfortable with, because Snapchat chat is kind of obnoxious because if you exit out, everything kind of disappears. There is a way that you can save conversations now, where if you just hold it, like if you click down on the actual text itself, it will save it. So if you go back, it's there. But I've just found that it's easier to take the whole conversation and take it somewhere else, because it's so much easier to do it on email, or even if you guys connect on Facebook and do it through like Facebook Messenger. So that's those are the only 2 questions I had. Let me see. Snapchat is the platform that intimidates me the most. I know, and you know, it's kind of like what I told Jen when we first started trying to get her on Snapchat. It's like, it's super intimidating, but it's also so much fun because like there's filters. Like if you haven't figured out how to use the filters yet, they're so much fun. You know, you could totally be so silly, and you could be just fun, and you could have like people relate to you on such a different level. Like it's so much more. I feel like Snapchat is so much more personal, you know, like people are seeing your everyday life as it's happening. It's not, like I said, it's not, I took this picture 3 hours ago and I'm just posting it right now. Like, it is right here, right now. So, hold on, Kaylee. She's like trying to come in here. I've seen her like sticking her fingers through the door. So, let me see if there's any more questions. What's the remote called? Man, I left it in the other room. I'll look it up and I'll post it in this team or in this page, what it's called, where it's from, and so you guys can check it out. Do you post more photos, or do you have a balance between pictures and videos? I think I have a pretty good balance between pictures and videos. I try and put videos in my Snapchat story daily, just, you know, to spice it up a little bit, but I don't really feel like it's necessary to like have a video where you're like, you know, you don't have to like talk on and on and on and on. Off topic, I feel like that's one of my pet peeves when it comes to Snapchat, is when people sit there for like 2 minutes just talking, because the videos are what, like 10 seconds. So if you're sitting there talking and talking and talking and talking, like, it's like your whole Snapchat story is just you talking, which is great sometimes if you have a really awesome message, but sometimes, you know, keep it short and sweet. If you have something longer to say, try and get people from your Snapchat to go check out your Facebook or your YouTube video or whatever. But I don't really have a, you know, like a set standard for how many videos of Snapchat stories or, you know, pictures that I put. So it's kind of up to you and what you feel is, you know, doable that day. Like, we are going to the park after this, which is why my daughter is constantly trying to come in here. So I will probably be on Snapchat. We'll be Snapchatting our day at the zoo. So it's just, you know, finding your balance between, you know, business and fun, which is to say for any social media outlet, sharing, you know, 80-20. So, let me see if I missed anything before I sign off here. Yeah, I got, you know, I guess I'll just give you, what's your Snap? My Snap is ASHCAM0725. That's my Snapchat. So if you want to look me up and maybe follow me and see kind of like what kind of stuff I post, you can totally do that. I don't mind. But yeah, just, you know, make sure that you guys are staying engaged, because that's like the hardest thing to do on any social media, you know, platform that you use. It's just staying engaged and staying consistent, making sure that you're, you know, posting as much as you need to. And, you know, Snapchat's a little trickier because, you know, on Instagram, I try to make sure that I have a post up every like 2 or 3 hours. But for Instagram or on Snapchat, it's kind of just like, you know, it's throughout the day. So whatever you feel is necessary, but I try and kind of maybe like snap maybe like once an hour, which is kind of like, when I say that out loud, it kind of sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Like, but you know, like yesterday, like I obviously couldn't Snapchat too much because I was in the doctor's office all day, but do what you can and try and get your name out there. Try and get your Snapchat name out there. Try and get your story out there, you know, any way you can. And ultimately, that's, you know, the biggest reason that I have even started with Snapchat is because at the end of the day, we're all trying to share our story. We're all trying to share our message. We're all trying to share what it is that we've been through, what we're going through. And any outlet that you can use that will help you get to where you want to be, I say go for it. And, you know, like I said, I was looking at all these statistics last night, and, you know, Snapchat is, and I remember telling Jen this, I said, Snapchat is the next big thing. So if you're not on Snapchat, or you don't think it's worth your time, or you don't think it's worth your attention, I strongly suggest you reconsider, because Snapchat is a thing. Like, it is big. So, that's all I have for you guys today because my daughter is breaking down my door. But I will post a link to that remote that I was talking about in this group. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to post them below or message me, and we will chat more on whatever it is you have questions on. So hope you guys have a great Thursday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.